Oh yeah, thanks you guys. I appreciate you taking the time to have me on here.
I think it's pretty cool what you guys are doing.
Very good questions and what a lot of research.
This is cool.
Yeah.
This is awesome.
Thank you for having me.
I really appreciate you guys asking me to be a part of this.
That was too cool, bro. And I was between shifts. I'm between shifts right now. I think I'm gonna be between shifts the rest of my life.
Welcome back to the Between Shifts podcast. Today's guest is a legendary sports writer who spent more than 5 decades at the San Francisco Chronicle, covering everything from the World Series to Wimbledon to Maverick Surf. His columns are the kind you frame and pass down so younger generations can see not only how cool their relatives were, but also how beautifully sports can capture a moment in time. Please welcome Bruce Jenkins.
Yeah.
Boom!
Nailed that.
And
Okay, I got to see you guys later.
yeah, to go further with that point, we pass them down generations to generations. This is one of Bruce's articles he wrote for our senior year of football, and it touches on basically our whole football career from Pop Warner all the way up. And my dad had it framed in high school, so
Fun doing that.
the guy writes meaningful shit, okay?
Let's put it that way. Sometimes just shit.
You got to get the shit out to get the meaningful shit back in.
Well, tell us a bit about where you come from and what was your hometown like growing up?
Well, oddly enough, I'm from Malibu, California, but it's not like being from Malibu now. In 1948, my dad was a very successful musician and working in Hollywood, making a lot of money, working with all the stars, but he wanted to get away from all that and get out to the beach. So he went way, way out to Malibu, almost Ventura County, county line, on a beachfront that's now called Broad Beach Road, which was just a couple houses, house here, house down the way, a couple more, just fishermen, artists, not celebrities by any means. But he just really wanted to get away. And he bought an old New England beach house for like $25,000.
Oh, wow.
Oh my God. And I grew up there, like on the beach.
Yeah.
And with no intervention of any kind. I mean, there was no schools. There was, we barely had a phone, but that was, I just ran out of the house into the ocean and played ball,
That's awesome.
It was really, really cool. It's that street has developed into, over the years, I mean, it eventually, there's a house all the way, it's Jack Lemmon and Robert Redford and Vincent Price, you name it, just boom, boom, boom. Celebrities, none of whom live there.
Yeah.
They just have them, But we lived there. We had the house, and there was a lot of space on either side of us for a lot of years. But really, really cool. Very, very lucky place to grow up.
Decent break in front of the house?
No, it's full on beach break, which I love. If you're familiar with Zuma's a spot. Just the same, basically the same stretch, no shape to the waves whatsoever. But I like that because that got me used to getting up here.
Yeah.
There are no channels up here. If you're going to go out, you're going to, like Kelly Avenue or Ocean Beach, you're going to go through some shit to get out there.
Yeah.
And so that's my whole upbringing. So when I ever did get to a break, I'm like, wow, this is pretty cool. And there was never anybody in your way either. So.
Yeah. Would you say you were more of a indoor kid or outdoor kid?
Good question. I'd say full on outdoor between being in the ocean and playing baseball with my friends and football, and just among ourselves. And I mean, I spent a lot of time. The only thing I could really do was write. I wasn't that musically inclined, and my parents knew that they didn't pound me with, you got to do this and play the piano. Tried and not too well, but I like to. I was really good on the typewriter, and I type out fictional accounts of stuff and just making it up, let's hear about the Dodger game and type it up. And schoolwork, and I was pretty studious. I was always got good grades. I was a really good kid. I didn't skip school to surf or anything like that. But I'd say pretty equal, but more on the outdoor side.
Nice. And what did your parents do growing up?
What did they do? Well, my dad was full on. He recorded 8 albums with Frank Sinatra, arranging, conducting, and writing.
Yeah.
I mean,
your dad's name was Gordon Jenkins.
Gordon Jenkins. I went to some of the album sessions, and you got 40 of the best players in L.A., and you got Frank and my dad, and with the baton, and they'd knock out a complex as hell tune in like one take.
Wow.
Jeez.
As opposed to rock bands with a kilo of Coke and nothing for
Well, and back then it was all live, which is the coolest part.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And so he was absolutely top of the line. I can't put it any better than that. And my mom was a professional singer.
Oh, wow.
She was a soloist on radio. That's kind of where they met, working on a nationwide radio show out of Hollywood. And when I was born, that kind of ended her career. My fault. But she was almost 40, and she was ready to be a mom. And so she was a great mom, and really cool parents. I didn't get a lot of stress from them, and they obviously were doing really well. But they didn't act like they had the money they did, because they'd spend it. We'd go out and we'd take nice vacations, and they didn't act rich, which is very important.
Yeah.
You know, Malibu kids, I knew a lot of them who their dads are super famous, and they're all like, whoa, you know, they're like stoned.
Yeah.
And didn't have anything like I did to fall back on. I was so lucky that I could do that one thing. But, you know, if you're a son of a movie director or an actor or something, and you're not that person, you know, it can be kind of tough. So.
Yeah. Did you, would you say Frank Sinatra was a pretty nice guy?
He was to me. I did a book about my father's life many years ago after he died. I interviewed everybody I could find that ever knew him, pretty much. One of whom was Frank Sinatra. It took me 4 years to get him.
Wow.
But we had his number one secretary. He had a bunch of secretaries. We had this one, Dorothy, who, this is how you get to Frank, and we knew that. So I'd call her every 3 or 4 months. Hey, how's it looking? Oh, God, he really wants to do this interview, Bruce. Just be patient. He wants to do it. So I banked on that. And then one time, about 4 years after that, I happened to be down there because I'm a Chronicle person now, but I still had the beach house. Frank can see you today at 4 in Beverly Hills. And I'm like, okay. I mean, I could have been in Vietnam and I would have made it. And so I showed up at Frank's place, and he goes, well, I'm going to give you an hour. We'll get a couple cocktails, and we'll have the room to ourselves. And God, he was phenomenal. I mean, he really, really loved my dad. Terrible guy, basically. I mean, everything you heard about him. If my dad never would like to socialize with him because, you know, you'd be out and everybody's drinking, and the next day some guy comes out, my wife's in love with you, you bastard, and take a swing at him, and just stuff like that, you know, the photographers.
At Frank?
No, Frank, yeah. My dad said if Frank made a right turn out of the studio, I made a left. The album, see you tomorrow, you know. So I didn't get any of it, really a taste of that full-on celebrity. I just got the essence of really good music being carved out.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah.
Well, what was it like to be the son of Gordon Jenkins while you're trying to find your path in life? Does that ever kind of overshadow what you were looking to do? Well,
it was cool because in high school, I'd tell people who my dad was, and they just shrug. I mean, it was, you know, Beatles and Stones and Beach Boys, and none of that stuff was really terribly popular, especially the orchestra leader. Mm-hmm. Of course, they knew who Frank Sinatra was, and Judy Garland, Nat King Cole, but Gordon Jenkins, cool, you know. But that didn't make me anything important at all, so that was out of the way. And I was just able to, the best thing I'd ever did was I joined the 8th grade middle school. I got on the Lincoln Junior High School rail splitter as a sports reporter. And I have never done anything since. I haven't had one job other than writing about sports since the 8th grade. And
wow.
That's amazing.
That's fucking
stroke of fortune right there. Getting paid for a long time, but, you know, high school sports editor, Daily Cal over in Berkeley, sports editor, Santa Monica Evening Outlook, and then the Chronicle. I've been there 52 years.
Wow.
I'm retired now, but I still write for them.
Well, how did the beach and surf culture of Malibu shape who you are? Because, you know, you're deep into this sports writing world. I mean, clearly you haven't had a job that isn't sports writing.
I haven't had a job, actually.
but you also grew up in, you know, Malibu surf culture, and you're a big surfer yourself.
Yeah, but mostly body surfer. When I started trying to ride skateboards as a kid, I was terrible. I don't have great balance, and I knew I wasn't going to be any kind of surfer. And the boards were enormous then. You could barely carry them down to the beach. But I was really good. I was really good with a pair of fins on, with a bodyboard and then body surfer. The last 35 years, I've just been body surfing, Ocean Beach, you know, full on. But that's how I grew up. And I chased swells until I was like 65.
Wow.
I mean, that was like my thing. What's the surf today? And of course, work was always number one. But you know, just so lucky to have that in my life. And and body surfing is a really cool way to go. We've gone to Hawaii countless times, and you're just out there. You know, in Hawaii, you're out there with, like, you know, Jerry Lopez or Kelly Slater. They're ripping it up, and I'm kind of out on the side here. But no, if you're on a bodyboard, you're an idiot. Stand up, you fool.
Yeah.
But if you're body surfing, all of a sudden you're like gliding along a wave in front of them. Like, all right, dude, cool. You're all right.
Yeah.
I might only get one wave in an hour, but
Yeah.
anyway, that's really been my thing until very recently is trekking up to Ocean Beach, just obsessed with going out there. I live in Montero, but that's a good wave, but not a great wave. Ocean Beach is a great wave once you get out there.
Yeah, it says a lot about your personality though as well, because especially then, like bodyboarding was people, for some reason, there's such a big stigma around bodyboarding. And you were just kind of like, oh, fuck that.
And
I'm going to keep doing it.
I lived that for years. I was a turd out there, and
Yeah.
I did okay, but I was still a turd.
Yeah. How many times did you get called SpongeBob?
Well, I never rode a sponge.
I full on bodyboarding.
I didn't get sponge. I had a 5-foot single fin fiberglass bodyboard.
Oh, wow.
Pretty cool. It looked like a little surfboard. But I never got the sponge thing. It's just you're caving in, and I couldn't imagine how guys could get off the bottom. Then I saw like guys like Mike Stewart. Like, oh my God! But no, all fiberglass, and my friend shaped them for me. So it's kind of in that little world. But
that's really cool.
Yeah, but once I got to Hawaii, I was meeting some lifeguards who are just killer body surfing. Like they body surf pipeline, And,
Wow. Yeah.
and I've actually done that a little bit because of them, and it's just it's so rewarding, and you're just in a world apart. It's so cool. Even if there's a lot of guys out, you're still in your world. And when you do something good, everybody digs it. Nobody's going, who's that son of a gun?
Yeah. So you have gotten to bodyboard at Pipeline?
Well, I bodyboarded Pipeline in the early days, in the 70s, and I got the shit beat out of me. Body surfing, I've fared a lot better because you're just, you're out, you're not sitting on the peak with, Mike Armstrong and Rory Russell and Jerry Lopez.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah.
Or John Florence.
Yeah.
Or whoever's out there now. Ever would I ever go over there. But I'm out on the shoulder, waiting for a little something I can grab, the tail end. Still a heavy drop and a heavy wave, but it's manageable.
Yeah.
And have my fun out there.
You're not saying you got your the shit kicked out of you by somebody.
No.
By the way,
that guy in the world, I'd never take off on anybody like lifetime.
Yeah.
It's a total accident. If you're out at Pipeline in the sort of where bodyboarders and body surfers hang out, and somebody takes off way over there on the peak, and he's no way he's going to make that wave. I'm going. Don't do that. Next thing you know, the guy was flying out the end, and he would have killed you if you'd taken off in front of him.
Yeah.
So I avoided all that violent stuff.
Well, you've mentioned that when the Dodgers moved to LA in 1958, it really flipped a switch for you. Can you just take us back to being that 10-year-old kid discovering baseball in the LA Times sports section? And would you say with that was the true spark for your career?
No, 100%. Yeah. Because I liked watching baseball on TV as I got to be 8, 9, 10 years old. You're watching the World Series. There wasn't a whole lot more on, but I really liked baseball. My dad was a huge fan and made sure I knew about who was who, Willie Mays and Hank Aaron and stuff. And then the team comes now to L.A. The Brooklyn Dodgers come to L.A. Now we're going to the games, and I was just, this is the greatest thing in the world. It was the L.A. Coliseum when they moved there, which is a track stadium.
Yeah.
And if they're trying to fit a baseball field in there, it's comical, really. It was like 250 down the line with a big screen and like 990 to right center. So but I loved it. There was a beautiful green grass, and all the teams were coming in. And then Dodger Stadium. Then I can drive now, and I'm driving out to. I saw Sandy Koufax pitch dozens of masterpieces, and the Dodgers were great. And I'm working for the high school sports section, But I owe it to my dad, who took me to a lot of games, but the LA Times sports section, which in those days was just amazing, at least 12 tremendous writers. Jim Murray was the kingpin, and my dad knew Jim Murray because they're both sort of Hollywood guys, and out in the far reaches of Malibu, they'd be at parties together, and I kind of got to know his kids and went to school with his kids, and got pretty close to the family. And spent some time at the Murray house, which is this is like God. He's like the greatest. Most people will say he's the greatest sports writer there ever was. So
wow. Here
I am, and he wasn't like mentoring me. He was out in the studio in his own world, but I'd be sort of there, and every now and then he'd come in and like if it was Nicklaus and Palmer going at it, or Russell and Chamberlain, something like that, he'd come in and watch, which is a real treat. But he just liked that I wanted to be a sports writer. But I mean, I'm like, I don't even, after I read him, I thought, I don't know if I want to do this.
Yeah.
I can't, I'm in the wrong business. But a lot of the stuff just kind of rubbed off on me, a sense of humor, sarcasm that worked into my being. And so I wasn't such a spoiled Malibu kid.
Mm-hmm. Well, and in 8th grade, you said how you jumped into the school newspaper. That was kind of like your intro to it.
Yeah.
What about writing hooked you so strongly at that age that you knew that was what you wanted to do?
Well, that's always the thing I was good at. That's always the thing I got good grades at.
Yeah.
Math, no, not at all. Science, barely passable. Woodshop, no future there. Writing, I stood out. My dad was a really good songwriter and a good letter writer, and my mom too. So I got that from them, and that's like been. Thank goodness, that's all I. What if I couldn't do that? I'd be sitting face down in a gut or something.
So after that was high school when you got into writing?
Junior high.
Junior high.
8th
so then
grade.
Where did you go to high school?
Went to Santa Monica High, which was a tremendous experience. When you go to Half Moon Bay, you get fully immersed in the Hispanic community, which is huge. I love that Molly went there and other ethnic groups as well. But Santa Monica High was 3,000 kids.
Wow.
A lot of black kids, a lot of Asian kids, a lot of Jewish kids, a lot of Mexican kids. It was like when I went to Berkeley, it was like the same thing.
Yeah.
It was the same kind of thing. And I really enjoyed being in that mix. It's like a little world in itself. So it was a great place to go to school, and it was on the water, so I could take we lived about 27 miles from the high school. So I was between junior high and high. I was 6 years, 27 up and back every day.
Wow. 3,000 kids is a lot of people.
That is.
Yeah.
It was full on.
That's still more than Half Moon Bay High School today.
Yeah.
Well, back to, you kind of touched on it, but when you were at UC Berkeley, what were you studying?
Not to flunk out. The easiest stuff I could find.
Well, you were also there at a really heavy time. Wasn't there protests?
Very heavy.
And
late 66 to 70. Like if you could pick a time for turmoil on campus, that was exactly it.
Now, was that mainly about political freedom of speech?
Yeah, a lot of things. Don't be in Vietnam.
Yeah.
Don't build this. Don't restrict this. Don't step on this. The fighting the man, so to speak. And I was very sympathetic toward all of that, but I've never been like an activist out there with my signs and a microphone. I'm just not that my personality.
Yeah.
And so I worked for the paper. I really had to study my butt off to stay in the university. I think my first year GPA was around 2.5, something not great. Those first classes which you have to take I found them really difficult.
Yeah.
I was like full straight A's through high school. Now I'm getting pummeled now, But I got through it, and then eventually because I knew I was gonna be a sports writer by then. Because now I'm on the Daily Cal sports staff and covering. I was a sports editor eventually, and covered whatever I want. The football team, and travel to Michigan or whatever. And I'm in this life. This is my life.
Yeah.
So I'm taking the easiest classes you could ever imagine.
What year did you become the sports editor?
68.
So was that your junior year?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah. So during all of those protests, you were in the hall writing.
Yeah, I was thinking about downstairs. There was full on turmoil, and there was always these African American drummers, just all day long. And there's sort of a backdrop to the people yelling into the microphones, and maybe there's tear gas, and I'm up there going, well, Barry Weizenberg drilled home a goal at Stanford water polo. But as I'm doing it, I'm thinking, well, this is me, though. I mean, I'm doing this, and it's not always going to be like this.
Yeah.
It's silly, really. But I mean, I was continuing on my path, and it paid off.
Definitely. And
any good baseball or football players from your years at Cal that you were reporting on that eventually, had a career for themselves?
Well, the baseball teams were really not good. I don't think you'd know. The one guy, Gary Hernandez, it was Keith Hernandez's brother.
Okay.
His little brother. Keith was the little brother, and Gary Hernandez was this totally badass hitter, but nobody knew who he was then. So not in baseball. Football, they had some good teams. Ed White went to the Minnesota Vikings, had a good career. A couple of guys played in the NFL, but Isaac Curtis was probably the biggest name, but not a lot. it was a really tough year for sports because parents didn't want to send their kids to this place that's on fire on the news every night.
Yeah.
You know, basketball, we had some really, really talented guys. Phil Chenier was a very good pro. So was Charlie Johnson. Those were the best athletes I covered.
Wow.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, my question that I was getting at with talking to you about all the protesting going on around UC Berkeley, how did being at the center of all that cultural upheaval help shape your focus for journalism and just your perspective on sports?
Well, I mean, it's I felt that if I could get through this period where sports were being discounted everywhere, and anybody who raised a ruckus, they were getting thrown off the team, and it was just it was kind of sports was almost a wasteland at Cal then. They played big time sports and they played all the schools, but it never ended well, is how I always put it. It never ended well, and I just felt like if I could stay on the path and really enjoy what I was doing, like superbly, I just felt like I was right where I wanted to be. It was a Pac-8 conference back then, 8 teams. And I got immersed mostly in baseball. So I traveled with the team on the team bus, team flights, home and away. I was on the PA mic, batting third, number 17, just before like 8 people in the stands.
Yeah.
But
Talking to yourself.
That was, yeah. But I was still, doing this at a big university. And I knew a ton of people who came out of Cal and were killer sports writers at the Examiner and the Chronicle and the Tribune.
Yeah.
And they always told me, this is good. You're in the big leagues of college sports. It doesn't feel like it, but you are. And you're covered. She's like, I covered O.J. Simpson and Lou Alcindor and
that's so cool.
On and on. It's sensational athletes.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, you graduated 69?
Well, I was class of 70, but I stuck around a couple extra quarters. I did not want to go to Vietnam.
Yeah.
I would have gone, but I didn't want to go.
Yeah.
And I took 2 extra quarters, which helped me stay in my school deferment. And then I graduated in the spring of 71.
Okay. And then from 71, what did you do between 71 and 73? Because 73 is when you got hired.
Yeah. I came back to Southern Cal, moved in with a buddy of mine in Santa Monica, and went to work at the Santa Monica Evening Outlook.
Okay.
Yeah. Afternoon paper, which is pretty good. Some good people work there. And I worked there. I got to cover some Dodgers and LA Kings and some, sporadically. I was never like a kingpin guy, but I was part of it. They kind of liked what I did. And but the sports editor I had there was basically a drunk. Let's just say it. He'd go out for dinner, in quotes, and just simply not come back. He'd be at a bar somewhere just pasted, and leaving me to like lay out the paper, what goes here, what goes there. And I could do everything that you could do in a newspaper, headlines, captions, writing, everything, but I'm terrible at the artistic end. Like, all right, we're going to put the basketball thing here, we'll put the Lakers here, this photo will go there. Yeah. I was just the worst. Every layout I ever did was the same. Terrible. And this guy really pissed me off because he was just, you never couldn't trust him. And one night we got in a big argument. And I don't remember if I quit or he fired me. It was like simultaneous. He just was tired of my lip. Wasn't my work. He was just tired of me calling him on shit. And so next thing I know, I figured, well, maybe this business isn't for me.
Yeah.
And my buddy who I was living there with was the son of like Malibu's most prominent realtor, big time realtor, big money, all that stuff.
So you had cheap rent.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. And so he didn't really want to do that necessarily. So we set off in an old VW van, which was decked out where we could sleep in it and camp out. And we went up to Oregon and Washington and Canada months on end with our hammocker helper, at night. And then we went to Europe for a whole summer in the same van. We had it shipped over there.
Holy crap.
No way.
Yeah, we picked up our van in Frankfurt. Fuck, we're going. Here we go.
That's so awesome.
So we lived a good free life for a couple years. And at this point, he's starting to think, I don't want to, I'm sorry. He wanted to go to law school. And his dad was the primary realtor in Malibu. But he wanted to be a lawyer. But he finally said, you know what, my dad's business is way too appealing. And I've got a call from the Chronicle in early 73 saying, would you like to hook up with us as a vacation replacement, just 6 months? And I had to say, yeah. I knew all about the Chronicle, and we had sort of done our freedom thing, and it was awesome. We both became real people. And then Jack became the most prominent realtor in Malibu, made millions. I made a couple grand.
Yeah.
But I lived my life.
Yeah. That's awesome.
And so from getting hired in 73, which getting the call from them, that's pretty awesome.
That really was.
To start off your job. And then you didn't become a full-time columnist until 89.
Oh, no, it was a long grind.
So what was that climb like?
Well, the first stint there, I worked 6 months, and then I went to Hawaii, to the North Shore, for the first time ever in early 74. And I stayed like 6 weeks, and it got in my blood like, oh my God, this is something, I got to keep doing this. So the next time around, they go, well, how'd you like to go full time instead of this vacation replacement? I said, no. I wanted to go back to Hawaii, which I did for another 6 weeks. And then they came around the third time. I go, oh, yeah, I'm in. I'm full time in 75.
Yeah.
So I got to be full time. But everybody who wrote sports in those days was like 100 years old. He'd been on the beat forever and still doing it, And I'm never going to be able to write here. And I worked on the desk for like 6-7 years, just headlines and captions and checking out in the back shop, is everything together. I actually really loved it. I thought, I'm pretty good at this. I'm not going to write, but oh well, I'm in the business, right? And then one by one, these guys sort of died off. one day in like 77 or 8, my sports editor, a guy named Mike Berger, came around, all us scrubs around the desk, and what would you like to do if you could have your say here? And I said, I want to cover baseball. It's just, that's what I want to do. So he sent me out to a couple games in Oakland and the Giants games, and just kind of one shot, and I did okay, and now I'm doing more games, and the writers are getting older, and I'm getting more beats, and I got this 1979 World Series. When they sent me to that, I knew I was on my way. I did like the next 25, and that got me on my way. But it was a long climb. I mean, today I hear about guys who maybe they'll cover Sarah High School or cool high school sports for a year or two for a small paper, and then boom, they're in. But I really had to. I needed to have a lot of patience, but I didn't look at it that way, because I liked working there, and I liked working full time, and I still found time to do my surf thing.
Yeah.
And but it was a pretty long slog.
Now, where were you living before Montera?
I started out in Marin. I knew a bunch of musicians who lived over there, and I loved going over there and hearing the little bands, Huey Lewis and his early bands, and Sons of Champlin, and these great bands coming out of there. And I just loved the whole Marin thing. I moved there in 74. My dad helped me get a house there. Geez, I got a house in Corte Madera for like $58,000 on a hill. Like, it's up above me. It's like, what the hell?
Yeah.
And I was there 10 years. That's where I was, from 74 to 84. Yeah, I got married there. That marriage didn't work out, but I spent 2 years in the city in Pacific Heights, and then a whole bunch of other stuff happened.
Well, getting back to sports writing, but you've covered just about everything. Now, I have to read this because there's no way I could memorize all these events, but 27 World Series, 19 Wimbledons, the Olympics, NBA Finals, Maverick surfing, the World Cup, the Masters. Which one of these still gives you goosebumps when you look back on it?
Mavericks 2010.
There you go.
I'm almost serious about that. 2010 Mavericks was when the people got washed into the rocks, hospitalized, and in those days it was really cool. Guys like Steve Hawk and Eric Nelson, Kurt Myers, myself could get right on the edge of the cliff on the base, so you couldn't get any closer or higher. It's just like boom, it's right in front of you, and we're covering this event, and we're looking down behind us, people getting wasted. And it was so big and so scary, but still pretty kind of perfect, but kind of not really. I'm looking at guys like Mark Healy going, no, I can't do that. They're backing off waves at Maverick. It was so serious, and all day long it was just pumping. And the reason that I get the chills was this guy, Chris Burdish from South Africa. Was a renowned big wave surfer and had been there before. Took him 30 hours to get from Durban or wherever to Half Moon Bay. He gets here like the night before the contest. The airlines lost his board, So he goes over to Jeff Clark's house. Jeff goes, this will work. This will work for you. So he paddles out on a strange board and immediately gets like a 2-wave hold down. He's just down there dying, basically. Like, I'm not coming up. It's been great. See everybody later. So somehow he gets up, totally exhausted. He strokes back out, and then he's got 2 more heats. He's got the semis and the finals.
Oh my god!
And he wins it. I was just like, who is this? Who are these guys?
Yeah.
But I mean, in real sports, I would have to say, Will Clark had a hit for the ages in 1989, the year they went to the World Series, and they went to the World Series in '89 for the first time since like '62, because Will Clark got a hit at Candlestick Park against the Cubs in the National League Championship Series, Game 5. Winner goes to the series. It's a beautiful day at Candlestick. 8th inning, tie game, bases loaded. The Cubs bring in a guy named Mitch Williams they called the Wild Thing. He was a lefty who threw like 178 miles an hour, and he didn't have very good control.
Yeah.
It was just like, and Will Clark stepped in there and just hammered a single to center. 2-run single. I've never heard such a crowd at Candlestick. Then they finished off the 9th and they went to the World Series. It's so great. I mean, being in the locker room afterward, these guys are beyond excited, you know.
Yeah.
You know the feeling.
And they don't do the taped off champagne room back then.
No, I mean, you can't. And then they went to the World Series and got swept by the A's, so they had like squirt.
You don't get champagne, you get squirt.
Well, you've been reporting on sports for so long. I think it'd be interesting to hear what you think the biggest shift technology-wise that happened throughout the years. Because, I mean, I don't know, even just looking at like having all of the data that they collect on the game these days, I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah. Well, the way that you can access the data too is incredible. I mean, I used to go to the park with 4 or 5 reference books. I've slung it over my shoulder. I'm dragging, and because you never know, I may need to look in there. Now you just Google this or call this up on your phone, and you're doing your research like in an instant. Yeah, that's a huge thing. But a very big thing was when I started out way back in the 70s, or even late 60s. Writers would type out their story on a piece of paper. And then they'd rip it out and they'd hand it to a Western Union operator standing behind him, who would then take it wherever he's going to go and dispatch it to the newspaper. And then that started the whole process of getting in the paper. Now, you can type your story into your computer and actually send it through into print if you really have to. Yeah. Or you can go in and fix something real quick. It's just right. It's all right there, which is a massive difference. And between those two things, we went through all these wild contraptions, these Radio Shack computers that were just horrible. And you'd stick something in a roller and it did caught up in there. And it's primitive attempts at computer sending, but they did master it. Yep. And I have to mention one other thing is that interviewing people is so much different, because it used to be like, oh my God, and I could never read my own writing. I didn't know shorthand, but it's really tough. Now you just stick your phone there, and then you go home and have it transcribed from the transcription system, and boom, it's sitting there in front of you. Yeah. That's so huge. I mean,
that's got to be really helpful. I didn't even think about that. I thought for sure you were going to mention Google, being able to research on Google.
Well, yeah.
I didn't even think about the whole interview thing.
Yeah. And one sort of tragic side, though, is that with all the technology, that newspapers are sort of fading. They're fading with their budget and the money they can spend, and the newspapers are almost a joke now. The Chronicle's print edition, which I will always get, but you pick it up in the morning in your driveway, and there's nothing from last night. In this day and age, it's all about, if it's Friday, well, how about Wednesday's game? Well, how about not Wednesday's game? How about last night? It's really weird. I mean, the online version is great. But they just push aside the print edition. It's like, whatever. Yeah. Like they don't want anybody to subscribe to it anymore. That's a strange element.
That is strange.
Yeah.
Well, still on the baseball track, how good was that first game that you went to at Pac Bell Park after it got put in? Coming from Candlestick, which, not to rag on it, but
I came across an article the other day before the new park was built. It was going to be built, but it hadn't been built. And I go, you're going to miss Candlestick, man. You're going to miss this place. This place is San Francisco. It's rough and it's windy, but you're going to miss it. Well, no, you didn't miss it. I mean, I was at the very first game, that they played there against the Dodgers.
Okay.
And it was a total weird aberration kind of a game because a Dodger guy named Kevin Elster hit 3 homers.
Wow.
I mean, you don't get 3 in a week from a guy or none.
Yeah.
It's a tough place to hit homers in. So everybody goes, wow, this is a total bandbox, and balls are going to be sailing into the bay too, down the right field line. Barry Bonds and everybody's going to put them in the water. Well, that's really rare too, but it was one of those beautiful days where the ball's carrying, but just the magic of it. To this day, it's a magical place.
Yeah.
And you see that on the telecast now, they have drones shooting from overhead. Mm-hmm. All these angles you never saw, the marina, the city, what they're building behind the stadium. It's just so perfect.
It really is a beautiful stadium.
Yeah.
Besides PNC Park,
that's right.
Pirates, those are like, those are the top 2.
No question.
And nothing else comes close.
No, it's really true. I've been to all of them.
There's a history of other stadiums,
Yeah.
And
Fenway and all those places have their own charm that nobody can match. But for sheer modern day perfection.
Yeah. And
when was Fenway built?
Oh God.
1912.
1912.
And Wrigley.
Wow.
Chicago also Wrigley.
Yeah.
1912.
Wow.
Holy so cool.
Yeah. And that's the cool part that they have going for them is that.
Yeah.
Oh, it's great. You go there, it's not like this place is going to fall down at the end of the day.
Well, and along the lines of just talking about, Oracle Park, have you ever kayaked in the Cove?
I'm not a kayaker. My good friend Kenny Howell is a great kayaker. I don't know if you know him.
Yeah,
Kenny Peggy. And he goes up to Oregon. He's in all these races and organizes. He's Mr. Epic Kayaks. And I've always envied him for that. But I've got my thing. I'm a body surfer. And they call it butt surfing, but he doesn't, nor do I. But kayaking is awesome. But no, I haven't been out there, no.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, to get into a little bit more of a discussion with our local crowd, because that's kind of where we're at right now with this podcast. What was it like covering sports here in Half Moon Bay?
Oh, God. Well, I'll never forget when Gavin Tomberlin was the quarterback. They went to state. But, seriously, that was one of the most fun things ever because I had Molly was in school there. But before all that happened, just the act of going to the games, the Friday nights there are really priceless. They're as good as it gets for my money, especially when the sun's going down way out of the water.
Nothing beats it.
Nothing beats it.
And the trees just with the backdrop. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And the teams are so good, and you guys were never really that big.
No, we were tiny.
Tom Petty.
I don't know if you remember, but when we played Menlo Atherton, it was our first regular season game our senior year. They had linemen, I think 6 of them total were committed to playing Division I football at San Jose State.
Yeah.
And then we walk out Zach Henry, who's like 5'10", 195, maybe
Seriously.
200 pounds.
Yeah, this is what it was.
Yeah.
But you guys are just battlers, and you're well coached.
Yeah.
And the basketball scene, also great. And my daughter Molly played volleyball, once again, so cool. But she played, little basketball, CYO and all that growing up in gyms in the city, and then Cunha. But just growing up through the whole thing, all the way back to Fairlawn View.
Yeah.
I just wouldn't trade it. There's so many reasons why I love start to finish that whole progression, but it really did peak in the high school years. Unfortunately, Molly didn't get a lot of playing time in the volleyball. She was okay, but they had a setter who was really good, and the coach was a little bit of a dick when it came to not playing the girls who were starting. It's like, well, you're not going to play. I just wanted to kill the guy, actually. I did assault him one night. No. But that nothing could spoil and Molly knew she wasn't going to be a big-time volleyball player. But we'd go to the games anyway. We had so much fun, and it's just killer. We talked earlier about the ethnic mix at the high school is very good. Yeah. Very good for kids to have that.
Did Molly do the immersion program?
No.
No. Okay.
No.
Yeah. For some reason, I thought she did. Mm-hmm. What was that? What was the balance like for being a part of the community, but then also writing such big pieces for the community? I mean, you look at people like my family, like that article that we have on that. It's framed. Like that's a huge piece. I'm never going to forget that article that you wrote. But you're also a part of the community.
Yes.
So how would you go about balancing that with writing and just covering the local sports?
Well, you know what? I never wanted to go anywhere else. And sometimes I'd get a little feeler from someplace, like Chicago one time in LA, and I go, I'm not leaving this life. It was even like more money, maybe more prestige. I'm not leaving this life. And it really goes back to Farallon View days. We had a wonderful preschool teacher named Miss Emily who worked out of Montera. And all these little kids, their Molly's there, and all these parents we got to know. And to this day, there must be like 16 of them. Those are our best friends. I mean, like seriously, our best friends. Socializing, we're going to meet at Sam's. It's this birthday. Everybody's there, the usual suspects, and you can't trade that.
That's so cool.
You know, it's a stroke of luck for sure.
Yeah.
Could have been a bunch of pills, but it wasn't. It was down to earth, coast side people. That's how I know the coast side, and that's how it worked.
Yeah. How would you compare this community to the community that you had growing up in Malibu?
Well, there even wasn't one back then. I mean. My dad was not very social, and the people around us, they were sort of eccentrics, artists and fishermen. And when it did get real popular with celebrities, my dad, we only socialized with my good friend who lived down the street that I went to Europe with and all that. They would just throw their own parties, invite all their people from everywhere, the Valley and Hollywood and other parts of Malibu. But there was literally no community. And Malibu proper, where I go to play Little League and there piano lessons and all the real stuff away from the really desolation where we lived, was 10 miles away. So until I can drive, I didn't know anything about Malibu, the surf break. We used to like rank on it because it's like, all these guys profiling out there. We wouldn't even want to be out there. Meanwhile, we're riding terrible waves up our way. But no, we kind of crafted our own community with a small circle of friends, and it wasn't the parents were very marginally involved. Not too many of the parents around were my parents' best friends. They were more from the business, So it was very, very different.
Want to get your business in front of a loyal local audience? Between Shifts brings coastside stories to life with real conversations, local legends, and plenty of laughs. Sponsorships include custom ad reads, shout-outs and episodes, and visibility across all our socials, all designed to connect your brand with engaged listeners who support local. Now please email betweenshiftspod@gmail.com for any inquiries. Thank you.
All right. Well, I just wanted to ask you, just off the top of your head, who is your favorite athlete of all time that you got to cover?
Well, I'd probably have to say, Steph Curry. Because he's a timeless guy. He's a great guy. He's a magician. There's never been anyone like him. They've won 4 titles. We're all of a sudden we're title town around here, mostly because of him. Yeah. But he holds his character is so strong, and he carries himself so well, and he's still kind of the same guy. If he hasn't dropped in quality like at all. Yeah. He could have another insane year. And because I covered Joe Montana a little bit, I didn't cover much football, but because I covered that Super Bowl they were here and some games that they played during his heyday, that's pretty special. I remember I did a game in Philadelphia. I was writing a column on the game, and first play of the game in Philly, he fades back and just throws a 60-yard dot to Jerry Rice for a TD.
Oh, my God.
I'm in heaven right now.
Yeah.
And he wasn't the greatest guy with the media, but he's a good guy. And those are just 2 off the top of my head.
Yeah, funny side note here, but I went to a quarterback camp in Santa Barbara. I think I was 8 or 9 years old. Huh. But it was Steve Clarkson. Do you remember Steve Clarkson? Yeah. So it was his camp, and it was at the horse fields in Santa Barbara. Huh. And I went there, and you had to have a talent show and all this stuff. So I did like a little rap, actually.
Okay. Didn't have to dress up like a girl or something.
No. It was an all right rap. My dad was my songwriter.
Nice. I was like, Glenn Chamberlain on that one.
Yeah. But no, we walk in to go get dinner at the hotel bar. Or not the hotel bar, the Horsefields bar. So like right there. And we're sitting at the table, and I'm kind of staring at the bar, and I see this guy with like gray slicked back hair, and I'm like, that guy looks so familiar. I went to my dad. I'm like, who's that guy? And he's like, oh my God, that's Joe Montana.
The quarterback camp.
Because his son was in the quarterback camp. His son was a senior in high school, I think, at the time. So he was looking to get recruited for colleges, and Joe Montana was there, and he talked to us for like a little while, and it was pretty cool.
It's funny, you look at Joe Montana, he's like kind of one of us almost. I mean, he doesn't look like he'd go out there and just, rock people's worlds, but wow. Did the kid ever become a QB or?
I think he went to Cal.
Oh,
but
yeah.
he never, I don't think after college anything happened, which is crazy now. I forget who I was talking to this about now, but I'm actually curious about your opinion on this. Now you can make it to Division I college football and make a legitimate living in college football, like the type of money that could set you up for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
What was that transition like for you to witness from writing before they could make money to now still writing about now that they can make money? Yeah.
Well, it's pretty complicated. I mean, I always felt like athletes should be paid because it's, the coaches get paid, everybody gets paid but them. Mm-hmm. But it always bothered me, the fact that, say, on your team, a Division I team, your running back he's running wild. Everybody wants a piece of him. LIV's coming at him. He's getting a huge amount of money. Mm-hmm. And now you've got a walk-on offensive tackle that nobody's heard of, but all of a sudden he's opening up holes for this guy. The whole team knows who he is. He's a total stud. He's a star, and nobody would come near the guy. I mean, they wouldn't be interested in him. That bothered me because money can breed jealousy. Yeah. Hey, dude. I mean, I wouldn't mind getting $100,000. You're getting $2.1 million. That will always bother me. But it's what really bothers me is that guys transfer every 10 minutes. Mm-hmm. There's a QB named Daniels, I think, who started out at USC, and he played
Jacob
I forget. He went to Modern Day, SC, and then like 3 other colleges.
And is he on the Commanders now?
He might be on his way to the Rams.
Shit, always going around.
No, he transferred colleges, and that's the money that you can get becomes the big deal. Yeah. I don't know. I'm really a romantic, but I remember my days at Cal really fondly, with a lot of people who share that, and I still share that with. And at the time we knew it. We knew we loved being at Cal. Yeah. And they were athletes. It wasn't just about the sports, and they didn't want to be at SC or anywhere. They want to be where they were. Yeah. But if somebody comes at you with millions of dollars. Yeah. There was a softball pitcher for Stanford, a black woman. You probably remember her, dominant softball pitcher. She was College Player of the Year. Yeah. For Stanford, either as a freshman or a sophomore, just blowing hitters away in the college women's softball playoffs. Next thing you know, she's at Texas A&M for $2 million with 2 years of eligibility left to Stanford. Wow. That bothers me. I mean, that's just, I don't blame her. God, what are you going to do? Right? Yeah. But the continuity of it is gone. That's what I miss.
It also has an aspect to it to where college football used to be so much more fun to watch than the NFL because the players were so hungry to make it to that next level.
That's right.
Now it's starting to kind of feel like the players are getting more comfortable with being paid, and they're like,
no kidding.
I'm making money.
Like they can bust my butt here on this.
Yeah, like they can finish their career and be like, like that was it.
I think about it, like that girl in softball, like you said, $2 million contract.
Yeah,
she doesn't need. She can throw that into a high yield savings account.
Yeah, she's not
get 5% every year. She's done. You'll never see her again. Yeah. It's insane. It's almost, but like that. For the longest time, I've always enjoyed watching college football over the NFL because you'll still get those great moments where it's a blocked PAT, where it's an onside kick recovery, where somebody just has the balls to go for it on 4th down on their own 30, something crazy.
I'm right with you, man.
And now it's kind of fading away. It feels like, I don't know.
I still watch it. I still tape a bunch of games every day. I don't watch them all, but just in case. And I love the feeling around it. But I haven't been up to the Cal campus to see a game in a while. And just here's a great example why it's still great. Over the summer, the Cal QB Mendoza left. Mm-hmm. And he had a great year. They had a weird year, but he was really something. He was beloved, and this is our guy. Well, he's gone. I don't know where he went, Illinois or something. And then their best 5 running backs all transferred out. I'm going, this is a wasteland.
Yeah.
And now they're 3-0, and everybody loves them. They got a great Hawaiian QB, the lefty.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. I haven't seen him.
He's from Tagovailoa, Marcus Mariota country in Hawaii.
Wow.
Lefty is a slinger, man.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
I got to
so-
check him out now.
But it's just so radical how things can change. So I still follow it. I'm still with it. It's kind of in my blood. It's hard to get out of there, but
Yeah.
yeah.
That's where my dad was in the Cal marching band.
Oh, yeah?
And I think he was a drum major in the Cal marching
my.
band. Played the sousaphone, big old tuba, and so I mean, growing up, I used to go to all the alumni band day games with him. Went to big game Cal Stanford football games almost, God, I don't know, probably like 8 years in a row growing up.
Nice.
And those were all just like, I don't know. It's such an awesome atmosphere.
Oh, it's just
and
so
it's like
great.
for college sports, it's so cool.
And for the seniors, it's their fourth year. And all the other seniors, all the things we've been through, it's just the bonding is insane. It's for life.
Mm-hmm.
That stuff, we're definitely losing a lot of that without a doubt.
Yeah. And like, as much as I loved going to Cal Poly,
Yeah.
it does not have the same sporting, just anything.
No.
Like a bigger school like Cal or Stanford
Right.
or any other in their division, really.
Yeah.
Like
SEC schools and stuff like that.
Yeah, but the Big Sky Conference is they're still in that division, but it just didn't. We had no life for football. There was like maybe 100, 200 people at the games, and we had like a couple thousand people that could fit into the stadium. Then you go to something like, I don't know, the first week of school, and they have the big assembly, and the stadium's just packed. You're like, this is what it could be.
Yeah.
You know how much these guys would probably feed off of everybody being at the games.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's fun to be kind of a big shot,
Yeah.
College football player, yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
People know who you are, but yeah, well, June Murray went there,
Mhm.
right, and Grayson.
Yep.
And Mike Kruko went there. I remember going to a baseball game there when I was at Cal. I'm like 68 or something, and it was just couldn't have been more desolate. I don't know if
No, it's insane. And the baseball games are actually the most
teams are
packed.
good, yeah. Teams
We have
are
a
good.
killer baseball stadium.
And speaking of baseball stadiums, I mean, kind of this is completely going off track and going back to you reporting on local sports, but I mean, the Half Moon Bay High School baseball field.
Oh well,
Yeah.
It's I mean, I love the fact that I got to play there, and like, I mean, last year I went to a game and it was just like, holy shit.
you can't even believe it. They still have cows up on the hill.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And it's like,
insane.
like even just like, I need to find what their schedule is because
Yeah.
just
I-
sitting in the stands
Yeah,
for one of
just
those
to go.
games.
I don't know any of the players. I just go in there.
Exactly.
And they have to, the contrast between that and Smithfield, where
Yeah.
I'll give you a soundtrack.
Yeah. Seriously.
The worst. Might as well be in the water.
The best thing
Yeah.
to do at Smithfield is go catch
Yeah.
tadpoles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they built, colleges don't have a field like that high school.
No.
It's pretty
mean,
insane.
So good.
I mean, I
It's
remember we couldn't practice because like SF State and a handful of other colleges, they were having a tournament
That's awesome.
at the high school
Yeah.
field.
Yeah.
I mean,
Why not?
you know, baseball field's good when the football team practices in the outfield. That's pretty good. And all of Pop Warner would practice in the outfield.
Is that right? Oh,
Yeah.
I love that.
Then you'd run in the infield on accident. Everybody like, get the Everybody start yelling at you.
Yeah.
Pretty funny.
Well,
Okay. Oh, yeah.
What was the I don't know, I guess hardest story you've had to write sports wise? I want to say, like, I'm not sure if you're full time at this point, but Lamont Wade check swing against the Dodgers wild card.
Wasn't that Wilmer Flores?
Oh, that was Wilmer. That was,
Oh no, I was definitely full time. That was recently. That was like 3 years ago.
yeah.
That was I wasn't writing that day, but it would have killed me because you can't make that call. You just can't call that
Yeah.
then. Nope, don't call that.
Yep.
Come on to kill the guy.
Yeah.
Very very seldom is it hard because you disassociate yourself from the teams as a fan.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up a Dodger fan, totally got over that. And I'm not a Giants fan either.
Thank God.
I like it when they win, but that part of it. But when they Game 6 of the 2002 World Series in Anaheim, they've got a 3-2 lead in the series. They've got a big lead. Barry Bonds and Jeff Kent just homering, and we're all writing our stories to get a jump on it. This is going to be their first world championship since they moved here in '58.
Yeah.
And we're typing away. We're finishing our stories more almost. We're all nodding at each other how great this is. And it just blew the hell up all to pieces. I mean, they finally lose the game.
Oh.
And meanwhile, you're on deadline and you got to tear that up. And that's hard.
Yeah.
And I don't even want to see what I wrote. It's probably horrible. But I mean, man. And then I remember that night was interesting because Martha and I happened to be staying in the Giants team hotel, the Anaheim Hilton.
Wow.
And so we get there after the game, and some of the owners are in there and they're all half in the bag. And, everybody's like, God damn it. We're so cooked. And Dusty Baker walked in, which was kind of cool, the manager of the team. And he was going to get a lot of crap because he took Russ Ortiz out of that game at a time they still were in command, but he figured we'll go to the bullpen. And he actually asked for the ball. He gave the ball to Russ Ortiz to walk off the field with. Take this with you, man. I'm not going to give it next guy. You take it, which is a nice thing to do, but it's kind of not protocol. And everybody thought,
it's a cocky gesture, right?
Yeah, very cocky.
Yeah.
And people figure, well, you jinxed him there. So Dusty certainly didn't have to show up at the hotel bar, but he did. And, people start talking to him a little bit, and he's pumping him up, and some of the writers come in, and one of the writers is a piano player, gets in the piano, he's tinkling at the keys, and next thing you know, people are, let's go Giants. And by the end of the night, everybody's hammered in, we're going to win tomorrow. It was just a scene that evaporated from nothing into Dusty at the heart of it. And, of course, they lost the next day. There's no momentum in baseball.
That's still a great story.
Yeah.
And while we're on you sharing stories, tell us the stories about the Masters.
Oh, man. Well, I've always loved watching golf. And from the time I got to the Chronicle to this day, there's always been a golf writer, in quotes. And I had my things, tennis and baseball and football. And so I never could do that. I didn't try to barge in on it. But every year I watch the Masters, I go, God, that's so cool.
Yeah.
I just want to be there. I want to feel that.
It really is the one golf tournament that I'm into golf, but
Yeah.
I watch that tournament and I'm like, holy shit, that's so cool. Like,
Yes.
It's just like, so it's got the prestige to it.
Yeah.
And the history, everything about it.
you actually watch it live.
Yeah.
It's like, this is so cool. Their snack shack is still $2 hot dogs.
That's right. Yeah, ham sandwich. And
Yeah.
So I just, we had two guys who covered golf a lot, and I went to both of them. I said, I would kill to do this. I just can you give it up to me one year, maybe next year? And they both said, yeah, go for it, man. Just you should see it. So it was 1997, and I went there, and it's everything you thought it would be. The mood, the sounds, just the quiet, the incredible beauty of it. It's a very hilly course. It's a tough course to walk, as I discovered part of this story, but not murderous, but it's hard. Anyway, I covered the Masters, and it was the Masters that Greg Norman basically gagged it away to Nick Faldo. I hate to write that, he choked, but he did. He gagged it away to Nick Faldo. He did. He gave it up in horrible fashion, hole after hole. So that's what I got to write. But meanwhile, they have a lottery for the press at the Masters every year, where if you get in it, you get to play the course on Monday with just a few other guys, 3 foursomes, with the same pin placements that were there Sunday and the same caddies in the all whites. It's like you're in it. You're seriously in it.
Yeah.
They don't doctor it up for you.
The greens are hard as hell.
Yeah, oh God, yeah. So I'm like, as if, what am I going to bring my clubs to Augusta? I'm like, no chance, but I did get in the lottery. And they don't tell you until Saturday night before Sunday for the final day. And I'm like, what am I going to do? I went to the pro shop, figuring I could get a bag of some kind. No, sorry, sir. We get these all the time. We can't help you. Tell you what, get on the highway out here. You'll see a bunch of golf warehouses. It's called the Bobby Jones Expressway. Bobby Jones is like the biggest name in Augusta and Georgia golf, a legendary guy. Bobby Jones Expressway, it's like golf warehouse golf warehouses. They're like 8 acres. Just gigantic golf warehouses, one after another. So I just pop into one. I got a really nice bag. I wasn't going to break the bank. I don't play that much, but I got a pretty good bag that I still have. So now I'm like, okay, I'm playing Masters on Monday. I'm playing Augusta, and we played it. I was in a foursome, and I'm just walking around. The birds are chirping. There's no wind, and I've got all these shots. I had one shot on 13, and I remember Fred Couples hit a shot on 13. It was a famous shot from kind of in a murky area up a hill with a delicate green, and I'm right where he was. Mm-hmm. And before I hit it, my eyes started watering. I wasn't crying. I was just like, "This is so heavy. I'm right there. I'm gonna hit this shot, and I'm gonna skull it, by the way. But I'm
but I'm here.
Yeah, I didn't play great at all. I had a few. I'll just tell you one moment. I forget the hole, but I'm on the green. I'm about 15 feet away, and it's a radical slope, and the caddy stands like way over here. The hole's too straight ahead, and he's way off to my right at a 45-degree angle. He goes, "Hit it to me and not very hard." I'm going, "Really?" So I turn that way, and I kind of tap it. The thing starts going over to him, and it starts making this semicircle. And the son of a gun, the thing's starting to hook back down toward the hole. Bang! I swear I would have missed it by 30 feet if I tried to putt it like it. Yeah, but it's just genius, the genius moment, from the caddies. But I had the best time. I mean, it's so unforgettable. And so coming up 18 now, one of the guys had a camera, and I had him take a shot of me. I took my hat off, and I'm like waving to an imaginary crowd. I've got the lead Sunday. Thank you so much. There's nobody within miles of me. It's pretty fun.
Do you have the photo?
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh,
that's
you
awesome.
gotta, when we ask you for because we do a little intro video for our Instagram page, I'll reach back out for photos. If you could attach that'd be awesome.
Yeah. It's a little thing, but you can blow it up.
Yeah. That's perfect.
That's super cool.
Yeah.
I mean, and just talk about a once in a lifetime experience. That's
seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just the whole thing. I remember almost nothing about those two things I told you, but just the whole experience and just living it, breathing it.
There's not a lot of normal people that get to experience Augusta.
No. Yeah. Just having been there through the week, I so appreciated what it meant, and it was everything I was expecting and more.
That's something that I really appreciate about just journalism in general. Is you have to be so in the moment. Like if there's a potential for a story in the next 4 hours, but your flight was in an hour. Yeah, I can't miss the potential for the story. And that story might never happen, but you can't skip the potential for that. Mm-hmm. And it just really speaks volumes as to how you have to live in the moment in your career. And it's really cool.
One thing I found is that there are kind of two types of, there's more than two, but the kind of crowd I fell in with was that I'm not going to miss that flight. I'm loving this game. It's running past midnight. I'm loving it. I'm loving having it right on deadline. This is so great. How lucky are we? Like every time I go into the arena, the ballpark, I'm like super stoked. Mm-hmm. And there are guys and women, but mostly guys who they basically want to get drunk after. That's kind of the thing.
Yeah.
They got their group. They know where they're going to go. And the game starts running late, and they're like, "End it!" That's it. End the damn thing. And they don't get as much out of it as they should, But I never got to that point. Even like now, I'm that way when I go out to the park. Yeah, you're like that.
Yeah.
It's just too good.
Yeah, but if the game's good enough, an after party's pretty fun.
Of course, we did that too. I mean,
how was the game
we
today?
Found a place that was open all night.
Game today was pretty good.
I heard it. I'm going to watch it on TV. I just heard they won in 11. It was 5-1 after one hit in the first 9 innings.
Yeah. Like it was Christian Koch drove in a couple runs and put us up in the 11th.
What a thing.
Yep.
No, they're still alive. That is
barely. What? It's like they got to go basically undefeated except for the inevitable loss or two against the Dodgers series.
In LA for 4.
Yeah,
that doesn't
four games in LA. Yeah. They can lose 2 of those. They have to win everything else.
That's right.
Wow. Yeah. That's insane.
And they might get a wild card spot.
Yeah. Well, at least it's fun, and they're in it. That's That's kind of all you want.
Yeah. Well, getting back to a more linear part of your story. But in 1986, you survived a rogue wave in Hawaii that you've described as a life-changing moment. Can you tell us about that situation and how it affected your writing?
Yeah, back then I used to stay in a series of bungalows right on the beach at a beach called Keiki on the North Shore, not far from Waimea Bay.
That's sorry, not to cut you off, but that's the beach with really insane shore break.
It's the most insane shore break in the world.
Okay.
I really, and if you're familiar with Clark Little, the guy who takes photographs, that's where he goes.
That's where he goes.
He goes down there and he gets inside it as it's breaking the sky. This guy's unbelievable.
How long is that sustainable for? Just getting pummeled in that stuff.
He's actually in a pretty safe zone.
I know what he's doing. I know how to do that, and not that size, but you can do it. You can have the wave explode like right next to you, and then sort of get caught up in this. Yeah. And then you're going to go to the washing machine, but you're kind of not going to hit anything. Yeah. Anyway,
but I'm really familiar. Big fan of Jamie O'Brien.
Yes, I know him well.
A lot of his YouTube videos, his earlier YouTube videos when he first started his channel, was going and just getting absolutely annihilated at Keiki. Yeah. It's just in the shore break. And he'd get on a boogie board and just boom, the board would come shooting out and he's nowhere to be seen.
Yeah, because I knew Keiki, it turns out, as well as anyone, the way it turned out from my time there in the 70s and early 80s. And we knew Jamie O'Brien growing up. And when I learned that he was going to Keiki to do stuff, I go, you got to be kidding. Anyway, unlike all the breaks in Hawaii where the reefs go out to sea, there's no reef. It's just deep water. And then finally it just hits the beach.
Wow.
Pretty much point blank. So this particular night, there was a huge swell in progress. And when that happens, the waves would sort of, they'd peter out sort of on your doorstep. They might wash up against your front window with some power, but they're receding. They're going to go. And that was about as bad as it ever got. Well, this night, two waves out there combined to form one.
Oh.
Two like 30-foot island style, which is like 60 feet, 50 feet waves, combined as one and headed right for basically me. We were the epicenter of where it hit. And I was asleep. My buddy Rich Stevens, my oldest friend, was in the next room on a mattress. And all I remember is waking up to a destroyed room. My bed looked like, the framework looked like it had been, like Godzilla got a hold of it. It was just like all had been there for 50 years rotting. And, nails and I'm soaked with water. My hair is wet and I got a couple of bruises. I'm like, well, it's not a big puzzle what happened. Yeah. But fuck. I mean, and sorry about my language here.
No, you're all good. You can swear as much as you want.
so my friend and I survived it. I'm going, okay, I'm alive here, miraculously. And a couple of houses next door, bungalows, got hit hard, but they were part of a longer structure. I was like one. Mine got completely blown up. 100% done, rebuild. It's over. And so my friend got, as his wall blew out, he got swept out sleeping on a mattress. He got swept out just under that collapsing wall. Now he's traveling on his mattress down the walkway, and he wound up in the parking lot, like 25 yards away. He woke up to that. He woke up to parking lot, mattress, soaking wet.
Yeah.
I mean, it was so heavy. I mean, so I'm like, well, Rich is dead. This is really.
He's gone.
I'm like, Rich, and whatever. All of a sudden, finally I heard, yeah. I heard his voice. And we're like hugging each other, and we can't find any of our shit, and we're borrowing clothes to we just wanted to go to Waikiki and drink is what we wanted to do.
Yeah.
And we're all over the news. It was a very, very heavy. It's the heaviest thing that had happened in Hawaii since 69, which is a swell that everybody still talks about, where actually houses were moved across the Cam Highway from one side to the other. Like,
oh, wow.
That was the swell to end them all. But this was the heaviest thing that had happened in how many years that was, 69 to 86. And so the weirdest part was, you guys, is that as we drove out of there, we knew the waves were still big, and my friend who lived behind me said, I don't even want to know. I can't even tell you how big that wave must have been. It had to be an 80-foot wall of whitewater, minimum, that came at you full bore. And my next door neighbor was awake. All of a sudden, like, you can't even react.
Yeah.
But now we're driving by Waimea Bay, and there's a kind of a big crowd on the beach and the traffic, and it turned out they were holding the first Eddie Aikau contest down there.
The very first one.
Yeah.
Really?
Oh, wow.
But we were just. It didn't look that big to us.
Yeah.
It really didn't. We'd been through this thing, and it was between sets, and we just kind of kept driving, like, to go get hammered in Waikiki. It was a weird thing to do, but I'd never written about surfing at all. I was just too in awe of all the guys in it. Mm-hmm. From here, from there. I could interview Magic Johnson, Willie Mays in a second.
Yeah.
It's nothing. Ken Bradshaw, Mark Fu, or, all these guys. I wouldn't know what to say to them, know. So we missed the Aikau. But anyway, I started talking to people on the North Shore after that, because I went right back there. I was the first person to stay in the rebuilt unit. And they're going, how heavy that was. And I started thinking about writing about these guys who look for waves like that. Yeah. Not that heavy, but, who want to go out there.
But they are searching for shit.
They want it to be like 70 feet, and yeah. And next thing you know, I'm building all these profiles, guys, and I'm interviewing, and they're the best people in the world. You ask about the nicest guys I ever interviewed. Even Ken Bradshaw, who was a warrior in the ocean, he would like take a bite out of a surfboard if you took him off in front of him. He'd pound you with one fist. But to me, he was like, I never met a nicer guy in my life. Just talking about his life, no money in it. Derek Dorner, Mike Stewart, all one after another. And I crafted a book out of it, North Shore Chronicles, which turned out really, really well. And that's kind of got me writing about surfing really constantly to this day. I joined the staff of Surfer Magazine on the side, which is like a dream.
Yeah.
Yeah. Super cool.
Yeah. So I could always say, I always have people going, that was you? That was you guys? That was you in that house? How the fuck did you get here? That was super heavy.
Yeah. Are you pretty good friends with Steve Hawk?
Very. In fact, Steve and I collaborated in a book that you should see that just came out.
Nice.
It's called North.
Yeah.
Have you heard about it?
We had him on, and he was telling us about it. Yeah.
So it's a photo book, unbelievably beautiful photo book, huge. You can barely lift it. Mm-hmm. Black and white shots from this guy's been shooting for years. So talk about top quality shots. These are the icons of the North Shore on land in sort of native garb and the Miley vines around their neck and no shirt on maybe, and just looking at home and serious, serious North Shore community, people we didn't even heard of some. But everybody who was supposed to be in it was in it. When Steve Hawk and I met at Hop Dog, he goes, I think you could help me on this. He wants me to write some text. Mm-hmm. He wants me to interview 10 or 12 people and have them talk story, and we'll just put it in to balance off the photos. So I got on board with Steve, and we did it together. We went to Hawaii together, interviewed people together, and wow, super rewarding. Oh, my goodness. We interviewed these full-on people, and they got really down deep with their stories. But it's mostly a big photo book that everyone, people who, it's super expensive, but people who understand the North Shore, they would pay anything for it. Mm-hmm. It's really special.
That's really cool.
Yeah. But Steve, just really quickly, Steve brought me on to Surfer Magazine. That's how I got there. Because North Shore Chronicles was causing a bit of buzz, and he ran one of my pieces, and we got to have a collaboration.
That's really
cool. Which lasted for years. Yeah.
He's a great guy.
Oh, unbelievable.
Yeah. Super nice.
Yeah.
Well, changing it up, how did you meet Martha, your wife?
Oh, well, I was a baseball writer, and Martha was a baseball photographer.
Yep.
20 years, the Giants' number1 photographer.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so I'd see her out there, and I loved how she looked, and I heard she was really cool, and I could see the players, respected her. One time I watched her do the photo shoot, and she's like bossing Barry Bonds around. Will you get where you're supposed to be? She's like herding all these guys, and she's just total no nonsense, but really well liked at the same time. And I just got to meet this person, So I sort of we were going to meet because we were both in that atmosphere, right? And I used to have a ball game out there. It was a hardball game at Candlestick. Mm-hmm. The media team managed by me and a few ringers, but. Not too good. I didn't want to bring a real ball players in. They go, who are these guys? Just hacks who could play a little. And we'd play games out there every year. We'd play a doubleheader on a Saturday with the Giants out of town, a hardball game. with my guys against the Giants front office guys, carpenters, electricians.
Yeah, that's super cool.
Yeah, and pitching to yourself, super fun, unbelievable. And Martha was out there shooting one time, so I said, God, can you get some photos of us out here? And that's kind of where it connected. And so we were kind of bound to meet, but I worked really hard on her. I'm far from a Casanova. My life is not full of great conquests, But I wanted this one really bad, and she was the one for me.
Oh, that's awesome. And when did you guys start dating?
Well, we had an epic date that changed everything. Our first official date was in 1990 during the World Series, the 1990 World Series. We were getting kind of to where we wanted to go out on a date, and we said, why don't we meet at Lefty O'Doul's in the city, because she was shooting for AP or something in the city, and she'd be wrapping up around 11 or 12. So would I. And let's meet at Lefty O'Doul's after Game 3 of the World Series in Oakland, the A's and the Reds. Mm-hmm. We planned that several days ahead of time. Well, as it happened, the A's were down 3-0 in the series that night. They were about to get swept.
Yeah.
And the Chronicle people didn't work on Saturday nights back then. The Examiner handled the sports section. So I had to go to the game, of course. I figured the A's would win, and I'd write some kind of I wouldn't have to write. I'd go to Game 4 on Sunday. But if they lost and got swept, I'd have to go down to the locker room and talk to a bunch of guys who got killed, and they're all pissed. Write a horrible follow story. And as the game went on and kind of dragged on, I thought, you know what? I can't do that. I can't be late for Martha at Lefty O'Doul's in the city on Union Street. Yeah. I can't be late. And sure enough, the only time in my life I walked away from my job. I didn't have to write, so it was not a big deal at the time, but as the final out was recorded, I was way down at the end, quickest exit to the parking lot, just sprinting to my car to beat the traffic and get to Lefty O'Doul's on time.
That's awesome.
And I did. And we had the best time ever. We locked in. We knew we were going to be dating. And, now the next day comes and I write a follow. Who gives a shit about A's loss? It was a perfect strategy. It really was. Nobody's going to care about this story about them getting swept. And so it was just, it's a strong move, I have to say.
Yeah. That's a great story.
And I know that Martha was, the photographer for the Giants for a long time. Are there any of her shots that you know of that are like, in baseball cards?
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God, yeah. She shot for Topps and for Donruss. Okay. And she shot Stanford football.
Wow.
She's got all kinds of shots in baseball cards.
Yeah.
Yeah. The bummer is that with those photos and also the Giants photos, those companies own your stuff.
Exactly.
So she can't just collect. Oh my goodness! If she put together the best of me, the best of Martha, it would just knock your socks off.
But you can't make a book because you don't own it.
That's right.
Yeah.
So they're sitting in our. Yeah. See, we have them, but
yeah.
But
it's all about the story.
It's all about the story, and for her, it was all about. She loved the life. She really did, and after 20 years, she got a little tired. In those days, it was a big Canon camera. He's lugging it out to the parking lot at night, and after 20 years, that's kind of done with this. But
Also, I want to apologize to Martha because I don't have my mustache anymore. But every time I see Martha, all she talks about. She saw me one time with a mustache, and she's like, "You need to keep the mustache." She
did that with me too.
She did.
I didn't like it, but she goes, "Try it." And it was really bad. Perfectly awful.
Yeah, she's gonna love David.
Oh yeah, I had it for a couple of years, and finally, that's got to go.
Oh yeah, I had it for maybe 6 months.
Oh God,
I loved it.
Yeah,
but my girlfriend was like, "This thing just goes up my nose whenever I try to give you a kiss." I'm like, all right. So if I shave it, I get more kisses.
You don't walk away from that deal.
I'll take that sacrifice. All right. All right. Well, tell us about your kids, and just when. So is it you have Molly and Ella, right? Is there?
It's a very long story, but I was married, living in Marin for 5 years to a wonderful woman, but she wanted to have kids and I didn't. So with that, we were divorced. And after I got hit by that wave in Hawaii, everybody's going to me like, oh man, well, I guess you're not going back over there again. I'm going straight back over there, but nobody understand that.
Mm-hmm.
But this one girl that I'd known all my life that I always sort of had a big crush on, and was living on Molokai, and was married and had a little girl, but she had ditched the guy for some reason. She was living on Molokai alone with this little 1-year-old girl. And I just said, we talked for hours about how incredible that experience was and how what you're going to do with it. And I just flew over there and began the process of basically adopting that little girl and trying to be with the woman, but it was ill-fated. But to this day, I'm that little girl's dad. Her real dad was a total flake who had never even heard from the guy after that almost. So that was rewarding in itself. And meanwhile, this woman and I had Ella. So I'm her real dad, and Anna, the other girl, I'm her, in essence, dad. And so those were our kids, for me and Martha, but they're living down south with this woman. And so we'd have them up to the house a lot, and they loved being with us, and it's all copacetic. And then Martha and I had Molly. So that's the very short version, but when I met Martha and introduced myself to her dad, I said, I'm a happily not married father of 1.5.
There you go. Perfectly described.
Yeah, just leave it at that. I got your daughter, and we're going for it.
Yeah, we had Dan Littlefield on last week or 2 weeks ago. And we were talking to him about the False Bottom Band.
And they're fun, aren't
and
they?
Ella's in there.
Yep.
Well, she's so talented. She's the one Jenkins who got stuff from my dad, the genes.
Yeah.
She really did. She plays
Seriously,
great. She writes music. I wish her career was giving her a little more monetarily satisfaction, but she's a fantastic girl. So is the older girl. Lives in Kansas City. We're all connected, and Molly's living in North Carolina.
Okay, so as a reporter, if somebody has an insane game, they just won a championship, they probably got MVP of the series. You going to interview them for your next article. What's one of the first questions that you go to ask them?
Well, I try not to ask a standard question like, "You've done this thing. How does it feel?" It's not a bad question.
Not a bad one, but
it's asked too often.
Yeah, somebody else is going to ask it.
Yeah, and he or she will hear that question all night long, right? I just try to ask something like, you know what? It's another kind of a try question. But you know what? When you grow up, you dream about stuff like this. You're in the backyard, you're dreaming up a scenario, and you hit the homer, and you just did that. I mean. That must be a trip. I'm kind of asking him how he feels in a way, but I would ideally try to be specific about something that happened in that game. Like, you hit that home run, but people forget that throw you made in the 7th inning. That was huge. I mean, did you feel like the momentum was switching when you threw that guy at home? Stuff like that.
Yeah, that's
try
awesome.
to get a little more inside of it.
Yeah, that's a great. Yeah.
So you've lived happily in Montara since the 90s?
Very, 1990.
1990. And I mean, what does living near the ocean mean to you? And what does your daily life look like now? And I mean, I guess to top it all off, I mean, going without seeing the ocean. I mean,
quite simply, I can't do it.
Yeah.
Never have. I mean, I grew up on right outside my door was the ocean.
Yep.
For years, right all the way through high school. So I'm talking about getting in your blood. And as I said, I chased swells until I was an old man, and so that's always been at the forefront. Where are we going to go? What's going to be good? And when jobs would come at me from other places, I didn't really even have to think about it unless it was like another place in Montara.
Yeah.
And I had it. I had what I wanted. The farthest I got was Marin. And way back then, the surf forecasting was almost non-existent. But sometimes I'd leave an hour too early for work, and I'd look crossing the Golden Gate, and I'd look out at that distant rock and see if there was whitewater breaking on it.
Yeah.
And if there was, I'd have my stuff in the back, and I could get a few waves out at Ocean Beach, and then take a shower in somebody's garage with his hose and cheat a little bit and storm into the Chronicle building all stoked. I got some waves and ready to work a desk shift, but that's just me. always that, always forefront. What are the waves like? Can I see them from my house, which I can right now? And even now that I'm really too creaky to continue, I'm not nearly what I was. I'm not really in the water just to get wet, maybe in Hawaii, but the cold water is really getting to me. But it doesn't matter now. How many sports can you play for like 60 years if full bore, right?
Yeah.
And I just look back on so many incredible match sessions in Hawaii and here. People I've been able to go out there with and talk to about, interview about. It's been a whole second life for me. It really seems like a first life.
Yeah.
Any legendary days out at Montera that you can remember?
Yeah, one time, I don't know if I was legendary, but one time Mike Kruko and Tim Flannery were on the beach, and I was out there, and I was out at the south end, and there was left coming off the point, and it was kind of ragged, but it was kind of good size, maybe double overhead, and somehow I just locked into one, and I just rode it like this for like 20 seconds, just all the way to the shore, going, oh, this is so fucking killer. Flannery's like, no way, dude. It's like, I didn't tell him I haven't had one of those in months, but
Yeah.
It's just Montera's a tough place to have a legendary session. It's more It's more like I'm glad I was out there. I got caught inside, but I lived to tell about it. And yeah.
Well, back to your point about living near the ocean. I'm not much of a surfer, but I find it very hard to imagine living away from the ocean.
Yeah.
Just because it's a luxury that, like, to be honest, living here, you kind of take it for granted.
You do.
But I can't imagine living away from it.
No. Just the weather aspect.
Yeah.
Weather's going to be mild, reasonable. It's not going to be 110.
Yeah.
I guess it could happen, but
that's 75 here.
Yeah, that's right.
That feels like 110.
I love just the 58, 59, 102, 103, 104.
But also just those days when, heat waves coming to the Bay Area and it's like, this place, East Bay, is going to be 110 degrees, like you're saying. Then you wake up and it's foggy. It's nice and cool. And then all of a sudden the fog starts to burn off and it's just this epic day on the coast.
I love hearing you say that. We've had a few friends who have bailed and went south to Santa Barbara and San Diego because they just couldn't take the gloom. And I'm like, boy, that's not me.
Yeah.
It'd never be me.
Got to get a good fog burn and settle in.
You bet.
That's
fun weather to work in too. You just settle in and like you say, that sometimes the afternoons blossom into like complete magic.
Yeah.
That's where, just the other day, it was like foggy all morning, and then I come home from work, girlfriend comes over, it's beautiful out, and I'm like, we're jumping in the ocean.
Yeah.
It was like, it was nice out, and it's like, it's been like a month since I jumped in the ocean, like, let's go. And
so
I just walk out the front door, walk down the street, hop in real quick, cruise back, can't beat it.
That's the thing. The times I remember most in the water, especially Ocean Beach, was not so much what happened out there, but being out there in some really serious waves and then coming in, and which can be as hard as getting out sometimes. But just walking up the beach like, God, I was in that. Jeez, it's so serious out there.
Yeah.
It's so good to be out in there. I may not have gotten any really remarkable waves.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, bit of a transition here. We're going to get to kind of more into the future, but also just kind of philosophical, I guess. What advice would you give to a young person who wants to become a sports writer today?
Bag groceries for 20 years. It's always going to be a great business, but you have to sort of trigger your career on your own. You have to write accounts of things that happened. You can write fiction if you want, if you think you're that good, and just to show somebody that operates an internet company, more so than a newspapers are very hard to get hired at. They do hire, but the money's not there. It's depressing from the times that I remember, but have something to show. That is what it is. You don't come in cold. You could be a terrific guy, a great interview. Man, I sure love talking to him. Love to hire him, but can he write? Have something to show. Have more than a few things, and that kind of triggers you. I mean, my overall answer is I don't even know how people get into the internet world of sports writing because I've never been in that. I've always been with a newspaper. But there are ways to, contact the people in charge. You have to be kind of bold, but I think I could help you here. Give me a shot. I'll start on the ground floor, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And it's always been that way in a way. If you have talent, you'll get noticed.
And
it's just a different venue and different methods to get there.
And that was something with at least our age. I mean, he's my brother's age, but August Howell, Kenny's son,
very good.
Where it's like he's a great writer.
He is.
He started out with the Half Moon Bay Review, and now he's doing really cool pieces for
Surfer Mag,
Stab, Surfer, and all those guys.
He's on the staff of Surfer now. He writes like 3 times a week.
It's funny, like we have a whole list of people that I need to reach out to get on this podcast, but like August Howell's on there too. We're surprisingly having a large amount of journalists.
Yeah.
And it's really fun because you guys all have great stories. It's really fun to just pick your guys' brains.
Yeah, the great thing about it is that, in surfing, you don't know what you're going to be covering. You don't know what the waves are going to be like that you're going to be writing about or what happened in them.
Yeah.
And the fact that you don't know that is really stimulating.
Yeah.
Where it's like a ball game. You cover a team, they've lost 5 in a row, but you show up that 6th day, man, this could be great, and it might be. It's eternally great that way.
Yeah.
There's no dull routine.
Definitely.
But we've gone to the North Shore with the Howells for many years and taken August along with us.
Yeah.
From the time where he was barely being able to surf, but he was always like really into it. And geez, the last time we were over there, he was up at sunset surfing with Slater and Jack Robinson and 10-foot sunset.
That's
He
awesome.
wasn't getting a lot of waves, but like I say, he was out there, he was in it, and he got it, and they knew that he got it. So
it sounds a lot like the story you told us earlier about you just spending time around the great writer
Jim Murray at the LA Times. Yeah, exactly.
Sounds a lot like that. He was probably picking up on your personality and your style of humor and just your personality. And then
there is that element, although he was born to do it, and he's everywhere he's gone. The Review. I mean, he covered the murders for the Review.
Wow.
He was in on that, and he's done a lot of stuff for a really young guy. I was way older when I started doing stuff that I like to do, but great kid, and he's on his way. I mean, he's writing for Surfer Magazine. What a thing. Yeah, it's so
super
good.
Cool. And what is one piece through your career that you felt was underappreciated, or vice versa, that got a lot more love than you thought it would?
Oh man, that's an awful lot of stuff. I'm plowing through all the should have been underappreciated pieces in my head right now. I don't know. I really don't. There's tons of them. I mean, you're right about something, and you think that you nailed it, and but the other people are writing about it too. Maybe somebody else did it a little better, got more play, got more TV time, radio time, and you're thinking, geez, what about me? Or maybe it's me on the flip side. But it's just a big roller coaster, and I don't know. I can't even answer that. There's just too much material. I certainly can't remember like I had a blockbuster that was like ignored.
Yeah.
I'm not really that kind of a writer anyway, but geez, if I think about it, I could come up with something, but I'm really sorry.
Yeah. No.
Good.
You can think about it. I'll ask you the next question. And
Well, I also was just intrigued. I mean, just knowing, like, I grew up, I grew up nearby John Miller.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like we were next door neighbors.
Yeah.
But close by.
Yeah.
And my mom was good friends with Janine.
Sure.
And I don't know, it's super cool that both you, one of the main writers for the Giants, and John Miller, the announcer for the Giants, both lived on the coast side here.
Yeah.
And how much do you guys kind of intertwine with?
Oh, all the time. I mean, I love seeing him at New Leaf and catching up with him or at the park. We always talk about what is so great to live out here. I was really sad they moved. I mean, they are too in a way.
Yeah.
But they're right next to the park now, and they're getting older. But that house that he had, come on.
Yeah, super cool. That pool was pretty cool.
I mean, a great Montera thing. One time I was taking a walk going up 8th Street, and he was driving, and he saw me, and he just stopped in the middle of the road, and we talked for it felt like 20 minutes, and there were no cars. I mean,
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, you've said you'll keep writing as long as you're sane and as long as the Chronicle will have you.
Yeah.
Do you see yourself ever slowing down, or do you feel the rhythm of writing and it's just a part of who you are to keep going?
I feel like I am what I was. I don't feel like I'm slowing down at all, helped by the fact that I'm not burdened by the driving and the waiting in the locker rooms and all the sort of, it's never been drudgery. I enjoyed it for 50 years, finally got over it. But no, I feel like I'm still on my game, but you know when, I think hopefully you know when you don't sort of have it when you're, well, I will say in the recent years, I've made mistakes that were corrected, thank God, most of the time, where I was certain I was right about this thing. I didn't Google it. It was 1964. But you know what? It wasn't 64. Someone on the desk would remind me that didn't happen. Mm-hmm. And that's happened a few times. But since then, and I've got the time because I only write once a week, I'm double checking and triple checking the hell out of my stuff. I do not want to be wrong about anything. Yeah. And I'm paying a lot more attention to it than just, okay, yeah, that's good, that's good, that's good. So I've cut completely down on that. But you got to be careful. I mean, maybe one day I'll make a really horrible mistake that'll get through the desk and out in public, and I'll be hung.
Well, looking ahead, whether it's another book project or more surf stories, what excites you the most about the next chapters in your life?
Writing about surfing, working with Steve Hawke on that book was a real blessing. There's another guy, we're staying at this guy's house. He's right next to Jamie O'Brien, Pipeline House, next to Jack Johnson, right next to Jack Johnson. Wow. Has a really interesting life and spent a lot of time with him telling his life story, which is flying helicopters in Vietnam. He's a Hermosa Beach surfing legend. He's 80 years old now. He taught Jack Johnson how to play the guitar. He did that.
That's pretty cool.
So yeah. I got that all out for him, interviewed him, and did that. Anything in surfing, to me, is golden. It's always about big stuff, big waves, big deeds, big people, big moments.
Also, while we're on it, how fucking cool is Jack Johnson?
Oh, the coolest.
He rips on a surfboard, and he makes insane music.
Well, when you grow up at Pipeline, you either surf it really well or you don't surf like at all. And he and his brothers and their dad were all really good surfers. But Jack was in the Pipeline Masters one year. Mm-hmm. He qualified. Yeah. And one year he went wave it back door to the right there, which has a reef even worse than Pipeline, totally face planted. And if you saw the picture of him after that, it was like he was disfigured by a face plant on the reef at back door. God. And he got through that, but I mean, then he still would take off on that same wave today. He's a fucking animal. Yeah. And he's stylish. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But he's so cool. I got to know him a little bit because of this project this guy who taught him how to play. And so now the book, we're in Hawaii last year. We're at a launch at a gallery in Haleiwa. They're playing up our book. It's a book launch thing. And I walk in there with our friend Karen Flaherty from San Diego, and first person we see is Jack Johnson. So I think, all right, Jack Johnson, we found out that his son, Mo Johnson at UCSB, has gotten to know this woman's son, Donovan McGibbon, and they're kind of tight. And I just said, because I know Jack a little bit, I go, Jack, I want you to meet Karen. I think you guys' sons are connected. Well, they're totally connected. They're like best friends. The next thing you know, Jack Johnson's chatting up Karen just endlessly. It's just like, he's such a dude. I mean, yeah.
There's a couple really good shorter YouTube videos with Jack Johnson. One that really sticks out to me is, I don't know which song it is that it's his song, but it's him, his brother, and his nephew surfing in Indonesia, just with his music in the background. Not much talking. Yeah. It's just surfing with his music. And it's an amazing, amazing video.
Yeah, I love it.
The other clip that I really love is him just in board shorts, sandals, and a t-shirt at an elementary school, all these kids just running around, and he's just sitting there, like, I think it's on a playground, and he's just playing his music. And the kids are it's right when Curious George was coming out, and he did the soundtrack for Curious George. And it's just an amazing clip because you're looking at him and you're like, I love this guy. Yeah. This is so cool.
Well, the way he grew up was really crucial because he grew up, in front of Pipeline. Oh, you surf Pipeline? Oh, really? Well, yeah, he does. And a lot of guys surf it a lot better. Mm-hmm. He wasn't terribly special as a surfer, but he was killer. But he wasn't he was just a guy, really.
Mm-hmm.
And so he grew up in that atmosphere in the great school, and he was always cool about that. Super humble guy, like his brothers, and didn't act the part. And he's always been that guy. He's got chops that you're going to find out about.
Yeah,
but he doesn't like lay them on you.
Yeah.
Well, I guess to finish out here, what's your favorite Giants memory from what you've covered?
Well, it would have to be in 2010. They were in Texas about to win the World Series, and they did. It was Buster Posey and Bumgarner.
Right after Buster Posey came up.
That's right.
Too.
Both of those guys were kids.
Yeah.
And Lincecum was coming into his own, and I was in Texas, hostile environment, and they actually did it. Brian Wilson struck out Nelson Cruz, I think they ended, and for a while there, I just sat there because you have a little time difference. You're not busting your balls for a deadline, and I just sat there and just took it in and watched the players and the fans, and then the players interacting with the fans. They had a pretty good Giants contingent of fans down there along the first base line, and just thinking about what it meant, especially to the older fans.
Yeah.
They moved here in 58, and now they finally
2010 to 58.
2010.
Yeah.
Yeah, 52 years. I mean, my goodness.
Yeah.
But and being in the locker room and getting sprayed on and watching Bochy get in the middle of everything and just getting destroyed, and then Brian Sabian was in the back room. He wasn't out there. He's like, this is for the players, but he crafted this team, and he was getting a little bit hammered, and he's a very stoic guy and not a real outgoing guy. He also looks like a mobster almost. He's like a sinister guy. He sees me and gives me this big hug. He was so happy, and I'm like, oh. And you're not supposed to really hug the people you're covering, but it was okay. Everything was okay that night.
Yeah.
And that was pretty special.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, Bruce, thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule.
This is really fun.
Yeah.
Coming on the bullshit with us. So
Yeah. Awesome time.
Yeah.
None of it was true, but I love saying.
Either way, it's a great story. Well, that was Bruce Jenkins. Legend.
Awesome.
Awesome. Yeah, well, welcome back. This is the Between Shifts podcast recap for Bruce Jenkins.
What a guy.
What a guy.
I guess we say that every guest, but
yeah, well, I mean, the stories with Bruce are just so cool.
dude, I mean, his dad having such like a famous career working with Frank Sinatra is insane.
Yeah.
And him
14 albums or something like that with Frank Sinatra.
But then him going like such an opposite route.
Yeah.
Just like, you know, he grew up, he did his own thing. He found writing at a young age, and then he just stuck to it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's crazy. I mean, honestly, you got to think about how good he was. You know, he's not going to say it.
Yeah.
How good he was at a young age for the Chronicle to reach out to him, to recruit him.
Mm-hmm. Fresh out of college, and then him turning it down 2 times to go live
in the North Shore. And then for him to finally be like, oh, fine, I'll work for you guys.
Yeah, like, full time. And then he did it for 52 or 54 years, something like that.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Insane. And it's just cool, too, to hear from somebody that was kind of standing on the outskirts of the team, but he was definitely a part of all those teams. Dude, he's at every game.
You got to imagine he's at almost every game. He talks to the front office staff.
Yeah.
He talks to the managers, the coaches. He talks to the players. He's
a part of the team.
Yeah.
And it's so cool. Like to hear him talk about traveling to Texas, for, just as an example, for the World Series is just so insane. Because you always, like you hear people daydream about the job that Bruce Jenkins has had for 54 years.
Yeah.
Like traveling with a team, being at all the games for free.
I think it's so much work though.
Oh yeah,
but insane.
It's what he loves.
But he loved it through and through, and
that's why he still writes once a week.
Yeah,
and he's so funny too. Like I love how humble he is when he talks about his pieces of work. He always talks about how like I wrote a lot of shit articles.
Yeah,
like he just I don't know. It shows how he knows the game and how like we were talking before the episode about how you have to write. You got to get the shitty stuff out of your brain to have the good stuff come back out.
Yeah.
And he's like just talking about articles that he had written. And it was just cool to hear him be so humble for how successful his career is.
For sure.
Yeah.
And I think in terms of Bay Area sports writers, up there with the best of them. Legendary.
For sure. For sure. And it was really cool to make the connection between him and the guy that was at the LA Times that he really looked up to. And he just spent time around him. And then hearing him talk about August Howard, I was like, wait, that kind of sounds a lot like you and that guy at
for sure
the LA Times.
Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine he didn't have any influence on August. Like, it's
August, cool. If you're listening, we're going to be reaching out to you.
Come on.
We've been meaning to. You're going to get a text message or maybe a call. I've been cold calling lately. All right. Thank you guys for listening. Thanks for checking us out. Hopefully you know where to find us by now. Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen to stuff. Check us out. Thank you guys. We appreciate you.
We have a TikTok?
Yeah, Ian runs TikTok. Yeah, it's just our clips. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Thank you guys. Bye. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Once again, we're brought to you by BikeWorks HMB, your one-stop shop for bike service, sales, and rentals in Half Moon Bay, California. Whether you're on the mountain, road, or low on battery, BikeWorks HMB has your back. If you enjoyed this episode and would like to help support this podcast, please feel free to reach out to us at betweenshiftspod@gmail.com. The link will be in the description. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. GT signing off.